Being a creator isn't easy. Making stuff takes time, energy, and love for whatever you're creating. But there's also desire for a lot of creators to have their stuff recognized by other people. Yet, most creative work will largely go unseen. The internet has provided a way for creators to conveniently share content and for consumers to see it, but there's so much out there that it's impossible for everyone to see everything. Just with YouTube alone, it would take over 17,000 years of nonstop watching to see everything there is on this website. If you decide to make anything online or otherwise, it's probably not going to be seen by many people, and that sucks. Recently, I stumbled upon a small Let's Play channel called Phoenix, but the video I found wasn't a Let's Play video. It was his goodbye video.
After 5 full years, I have to put an end to my channel, at least professionally.
I resonated a lot with Phoenix's feelings here, and while he reassures his audience that this isn't necessarily a bad thing, I could feel the sense of defeat in his voice, and it hurt me so much to listen to. Not only because I share his feelings, but because of how common his story is. Just go on the NewTubers subreddit and you'll find so many posts of people saying, "Why am I not getting any views? What can I do to get more views? How do you stay motivated when nobody's watching your stuff?" It goes on and on and on and on. We all desire to have our stuff seen. It's why we put our doodles when we were kids on the fridge. It's why we have show and tell at school. It's why we have talent shows. And when our stuff isn't seen or we don't get that opportunity, it hurts. It feels like a rejection, and it's not fun. I feel like this is a side of content creation that people simply don't talk about in a constructive manner. We're at the mercy of algorithms, cronyism, and other factors largely outside of our control when it comes to growth. But instead, there's almost this toxically positive grind set attitude that festers in the air like a wet fart on an elevator. Content is king is my favorite phrase. It's another way of saying popular equals good, and I'm kind of sick of hearing it. Now, I'm not trying to say all popular content is bad, but there's an awful lot of bad content that's popular.
So, I need to ask you a question because Leanne is telling me that...
Riveting stuff! Jokes aside, there's a lot of good content out there that simply doesn't get a fair shake. Why do you think such a frequent comment on lesser viewed videos is, "How do you not have more subs?" Like, here's an example of a guy I watched religiously. Acornfilms. He's a filmmaker that decided to make humorous game reviews back in 2009 and was way ahead of the curve for this type of content back then. His Demon Souls review alone made my pimple-faced ass scrounge enough cash at the YMCA to buy a secondhand PS3 just to play this goddamn game, and now the Souls-like genre is basically my favorite genre of game of all time. Then one day, from a combination of health reasons and other factors, he just stopped. I didn't understand. How could someone who makes good videos and seems to have a good time making them just quit? Well, from what I gathered, he simply wasn't making enough money from the reviews to keep going. But then 5 long years later... my boy, he's back. His reviews were just as good, if not better than ever. Hell yeah, he's gonna take off this time. But he didn't. In fact, his newer videos only got a fraction of what they did back in the day and stopped one day again. Without a word. Gone. His last review was of Super Mario Maker 2, and the comment section is full of people wondering where he went and saying how much they miss him. Here's someone that made great videos that people loved and yet couldn't make it work in the end. I know this is only one example, but the point I want to make is that Acornfilms' story is only one of many. He and so many others make content that was or is great, but isn't necessarily reflected in their popularity. The fact of the matter is that there's a finite number of eyeballs to go around, and not every piece of content can be a winner. You're probably noticing the irony here with me taking the time to write a script, draw the art, record, and edit this video. The truth is that this idea of the work I make never being seen terrifies me. I want to believe that I can make things for their own sake, but when this fear of failing to reach an audience builds up in me, I'm paralyzed. So, why am I bothering making this? Well, at the end of the day, while I can't control who, if anyone, will see my content, it's a guarantee that no one will see anything I make if I don't make anything. A recent book I read called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson put it pretty tactfully in a chapter titled, "You Are Not Special." Once you accept the premise that a life is worthwhile only if it is truly notable and great, then you basically accept the fact that most of the human population, including yourself, sucks and is worthless. The ticket to emotional health, like that to physical health, comes from eating your veggies. That is, accepting the bland and mundane truths of life, truths such as your actions actually don't matter that much in the grand scheme of things, and the vast majority of your life will be boring and not noteworthy, and that's okay. That constant pressure to be something amazing, to be the next big thing, will be lifted off your back. The stress and anxiety of always feeling inadequate and constantly needing to prove yourself will dissipate, and the knowledge and acceptance of your own mundane existence will actually free you to accomplish what you truly wish to accomplish, without judgment or lofty expectations. This section really put into words something that I could not for a long time. I'm more than likely not going to be the next Ludwig or Mr. Beast or whatever. Hell, I probably won't even crack 10,000 or even 5,000 followers on Twitch or subscribers on YouTube. But if that fear of not succeeding keeps me from even trying to make YouTube content, then I also have to admit that myself making that content in general isn't worth it, and I should probably just quit streaming too. And yet, I keep going. Because deep down, there is simply a joy I feel about creating something that nothing else does. And I have to let that shine through despite the doubts clouding my mind. Plus, sometimes I need to remind myself that some people have liked what I've done with my stream these last few years, going as far to write me letters, create fan art, and even send handmade gifts. My content does resonate with people, and that is a blessing in and of itself that I should be incredibly thankful for. I just need to find the spark to make things like I did back when I was a kid, just posting crappy Line Rider tracks with AC/DC or Green Day blasting in the background, or awkward Call of Duty commentaries, or whatever the hell this was. Back in college, I made a Super Smash Bros. Documentary that is probably the thing I'm most proud of making. And a few weeks ago, I noticed a new comment on the now 7-year-old video that said, "Man, watching this documentary at least once a year is a fucking must." And if that isn't enough evidence to have a little faith in myself, then I don't know what is. I know this video is kind of weird, but I wanted to make this as sort of an open letter to myself, to hold myself accountable, to come back to and remind myself that I know that in the moment when a stream doesn't do well or a video doesn't get a lot of views, that in the end there had to have been a genuine spark of creativity to have to want to make something for its own sake. So this is me telling myself, hey, Sam, just make shit. And I hope I can hold myself to that. So here's to creating, for its own sake. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you're curious about what I'll be trying to make on this channel, currently I'm planning on making short-form video essay content about games I like or general aspects of games I like to talk about. I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out as I go. If you want to come along for the journey, feel free to subscribe, or don't. I'm not your dad. Take care.